It's 5 to 8, you're watching Herald now. It's Friday, which means it's time to take a peek behind the curtain of the media industry with Shane Curry, New Zealand Herald editor-at-large, who brings us Media Insider and is at the desk this morning. Shane, good morning.
Morning, Ryan.
Good to see you as always.
You too.
What's going on with Briscoes?
We've got a piece in the Herald and the Media Insider column this morning that the long-running advertising agency that looks after Briscoes and Rebel Sport, they've been at it for 36 years. That advertising account's now actually up for pitch for the first time in almost 4 decades. So it's very significant in terms of, A, the amount of money that's involved. I mean, they're a big advertiser in the New Zealand economy, obviously a big retailer, but also just the number of agencies lining up for what will be a pretty lucrative contract. And of course, it raises the question as to the future direction. Will we still see the Briscoes lady front and centre? She's one of our most recognisable, popular advertising characters, and she did tell the Women's Weekly just recently that her contract has been extended. So it remains to be seen just how much of influence or play that she will still have in the campaign.
You cannot have Briscoes without the Briscoes lady. No, you know, they like a 90% off sale. 90% of the customers would desert them if they got rid of it.
That's right. She's been voted in regular polls as one of our most popular, and up there with Tina from Turners and characters like that.
Yeah, and she seems absolutely lovely as well. Whenever I've read the Women's Weekly articles on her, I think down in Christchurch, isn't she? Right, you've got an exclusive this morning. Sky TV has won 3 more years of F1 rights.
Yeah, I mean, that's big news for F1 fans, and of course there's a growing legion of F1 fans in New Zealand, thanks to the Netflix series Drive to Survive and thanks to people like Liam Lawson leading the charge from a driving perspective. But Sky TV, they snatched the rights back from Spark Sport 2 years ago, and I'm expecting an announcement this morning that they will have 3 more years of Formula One. Now, the interesting thing, of course, is Sky's just bought TV3 as a free-to-air partner and platform, and so I also expect that we'll start seeing some free-to-air Formula One races on TV3, in particular the Melbourne Grand Prix next year.
Interesting. I mean, that'll be fantastic for the sport, won't it? As you say, you've got Liam Lawson, you've got all this stuff happening for young Kiwi audiences. To have it also on 3 would be a
well, that's right. And I think the other thing it plays to, and we'll see this roll out in the next 2 or 3 years, is that big free-to-air battle now between TVNZ and TV3 for some pretty big sport. I mean, we've seen TVNZ announce that they have the Football World Cup next year. Sky's got the Olympics coming. Sky's got access to TV3, and you know you've been at TV3 for many years yourself, Ryan. You know that just what live sport can bring to the equation, to the menu.
Absolutely. Hey, David Cohen, this is the unauthorised biography of Jacinda Ardern. She's got her children's book out at the moment and doing a lot of publicity for that in certain circles, not all. But David, the unauthorised biography, there's been a bit of an update on that?
That's right. They've released the unauthorised biography cover this week. Now, that's coincided, as you say, with a lot of the publicity around her children's book and, of course, her authorised biography several weeks ago. David Cohen, who's quite a renowned journalist, he is wrapping up the book right now. It's going to be released later this year. There's a few more chapters, as I understand it, to be completed, a few more interviews to be done, but he's completed something like more than 100 interviews for it, and they're pitching it as the broad-based tell-all kind of biography where we hear the full story of what unfolded around the cabinet table, particularly during the COVID years. You know, part of the publicity and marketing pitch here is that we've heard one side of the story, almost a puff piece. That's their kind of allegation or assertion. This tells the full story.
All right, interesting. A couple of exec changes over at RNZ.
Yeah, we heard yesterday that Andrew Schusterman, who'll be well known in the TV and screen industry, he's coming onto the board of RNZ next month. Now, that's a very significant move in that it brings a majority now on the RNZ board who have been appointed by this coalition government. And we know that they do want changes. They want to see RNZ lift its radio listening audience and its trust levels. And RNZ is starting to make some inroads there, but they will have a new look board essentially in place from next month. And I expect further changes next year. And at exec level, we've seen the departure or the announced departure this week of their Chief Performance Officer, Glenn Scanlon. He is off to Water Safety to be the chief executive there. So there's also changes at the top table of our public broadcaster.
Okay, interesting stuff. You could do worse than Schuster. He's a smart guy and he's a gun. So good to know. Thanks so much for that, Shane. Shane Curry, Media Insider. You can check out all the details.